For media availabilities this afternoon in advance of this weekend's Bank of America 500, we've now been joined by Ricky Stenhouse, driver of the number 17 Sunny D Ford. And Ricky, welcome to the round of 12. I know your team is excited to be advancing into the next round. Talk a little bit about coming into this weekend and the track here at Charlotte.
Yeah, it feels good to be here in the playoffs still. That was our goal when we started the playoffs, and we accomplished it. So, now obviously we focus on our efforts to, continue to the third round of 8. So, it starts here at Charlotte this weekend. We changed a lot in our car this week, showing that Chicago was not a good racetrack for us. Didn't go as planned, so we changed a lot in our cars this week, even all the way up until later yesterday, last night, just trying to make sure we put the best car that we can on the racetrack. And so, we're working through some things. Last practice, I think I don't want to get too caught up on, I think we were 29th or something. We were 30th in practice here before qualifying for the 600, and we qualified 13th. So, we know some adjustments that we're going to make for when the sun is starting to go down. The track's going to cool off, and we'll see where we qualify. But definitely glad to be in this round.
All right, let's go ahead and take questions for Ricky. If you have one, please state your name and affiliation. We'll start up front with Mike.
Mike Hembry, USA Today. Ricky, considering your recent history at plate tracks, do you go into Talladega with generally more confidence there, considering all the wacky stuff that could happen? But you've done well, obviously, the last couple. Does that make you go in there with just a little more smarts?
I'm definitely looking forward to going back to Talladega. I think for us, we're focused right now on Charlotte. Jimmy Finning's been working for some time now on our Talladega car, and been massaging it and getting it ready to go. So he kind of takes over the whole Speedway program until the week of, and then our team gets it and works on it some more. But we want to go in and win Talladega. Would be nice, and solidify and make sure that we get to that next round with a win. But if not, I think it's a racetrack that we could still gain a lot of points, and nothing's guaranteed when you go there. So, I've been crashed out of them just as easy as finishing well. So, we got to do our job here at Charlotte and get a decent points day out of it, and then go to Talladega and see if we can't get a win. But definitely going to feel confident going to Talladega for sure.
All right, go ahead, Lee.
SpencerMotorsports.com. Two questions. How has Brian Patty influenced your career, particularly this season? It just seems to kind of be guiding you in the right direction.
Yeah, I think, Brian is, even when he was Biffle's crew chief, I felt like we hit it off really well when we all worked together in the shop and, trying to make our cars faster last year as a team. I felt like we had good chemistry then. Fast forward to this year, and I felt like, really right off the bat, it felt like I had already worked with him for a while. I feel like, he's got a lot of experience on top of a pit box for a Cup Series car, and, I feel like he's the most similar crew chief I've had to a Mike Kelly that I had in the Xfinity Series. So you combine all that together, and I feel like it's a good combination. Still having Mike in our corner, working on our cars as well. Just brings me a lot of confidence that I have, in those two guys that are bringing the best cars to the track that they can every week. And, Brian, like I said, our chemistry has been good right off the bat, and, that's been easy to do. In these playoffs, I feel like I've kind of been probably coached a little bit more than normal, just my outlook on it. He's been in these places before and in these positions, so it's cool to have him kind of leading our ship.
And how treacherous was it getting into turn 4? I know a lot of people are really loose getting in there, and some people...
Yeah, it's the opposite of traction right now. We're trying to be buried on the bottom. I got a little high off of turn 2, it's just as slick in 1 and 2 as it is in 3 and 4. So I don't really know who. I mean, none of us are going to go up there and run on purpose to get it run in. So I don't know. A place like Loudon, you're running 70 miles an hour in the corner versus 170, and can kind of run it in. You got modifieds that help run it in. I don't really see us running that in, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. None of us really thought, the compound traction really helped us last race here. We thought it was a little bit slicker as well, so it'll be interesting to see how it works.
All right. Reed, did you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Reed Spencer, NASCAR Wire Service. As a follow-up to that, do you think anybody really understands exactly what makes the substance work? Because, I mean, it seemed like the 2 Bristol races were somewhat different, the 2 New Hampshire races were somewhat different, and then you have a really slick situation here today.
Yeah, I definitely don't know what makes it work, and I guess you could argue that nobody really does right now. I know that they didn't take the tire drag into it, but they did last time, and I thought, last time you could get on the PJ1 or whatever, but it wasn't that much grippier than the bottom of the racetrack. So to your point, it's been different at every racetrack we've been to. So I think a lot of us are interested on how it'll play out. I know, there's quite a few tore-up cars already just from it. And like I said, I got in it off of 2, and it's definitely really slick. I saw that from other cars, and then I experienced it a little bit myself. So, I was pretty cautious there in practice, just making sure we got through it.
All right. I believe Bob had a question.
Bob Parkhurst, ESPN.com. Is your best way to advance through points or winning Talladega?
Well, man, I don't know. I'd love to do it by winning Talladega. But I think, realistically, you got to plan on points. That's our mindset for now. If we took the races, the first Charlotte, the first Kansas, and obviously the first Talladega, not counting the win to advance us, but if you take those points, we would have set 6th out of the drivers that are left. So, Patty kind of showed me that this week, that if we can get back to doing what we were capable of earlier in the season, that we can do it on points as well. So that's going to take a lot of effort. We're not there right now, at least in this practice. But like I said, I thought as the weekend went, last time we were here for the 600, we got a little bit better until we ran at night. I thought we were a little bit off. But our mindset is points right now, and we'll see how that changes after Charlotte.
All right. Go ahead.
Zach Tanzarelli, Fun Stretch. This is the last playoff race here on the Charlotte Oval with a big change for next year. Kind of just wanted to get your thoughts on the change going to the Oval. We've seen some of the adjustments that they're making to the front stretch already. Obviously got a lot to figure out until we race there, but your thoughts at the moment, this weekend.
This weekend, I'm glad we're on the Oval. I'm not looking forward to running the road course here. So I'm definitely glad we're on the Oval still.
All right. Up front for Al, please.
Hey, Ricky, Al Pierce from Auto Week. Probably 90% of the office pools in America probably had you not making it this far. You probably understand that. Do you get any perverse kind of pleasure about knowing that you did something and your team did something that most of America didn't think you could do?
Yeah, I love proving people wrong. I feel like going back to our 2011 championship in the Xfinity Series, nobody thought we'd win that. We had some new drivers come in 2012, and they didn't think we'd win that either. So it's always nice to prove them wrong, and I enjoy doing that.
All right. I believe Jared, did you have a question in the back?
Yeah, Jared Turner, Edgeset Marketing. Ricky, as you said, obviously you're focused on this weekend first and foremost, but looking ahead to the future a little bit, Do you feel like next year represents your best chance to win the Daytona 500 that you've ever had? And just growing up and so forth, how much time have you spent thinking about winning that race?
I really hadn't spent a ton of time thinking about winning it. I just, focus on it when I get there. We run so many different races throughout the year. Try not to look too far ahead. So, like I said, this week we're focused on Charlotte. Next week we'll be focused on Talladega, and so forth. So, I guess when the season ends, I'll be focused on Chili Bowl. So, then after that, I'll be focused on Daytona. But I think it's definitely a race that I really feel like anybody's capable of winning. The Speedway races are, can be a toss-up. It's nice to have a fast car like we had the last two races, and I definitely think that having the cars, our Speedway cars, faster than they have been, gives us a better opportunity. But the rules are changing for next year's Speedway races, and it'll be interesting to see how the 500 will play out. With the rule changes for the speedways. But Jimmy Finning's working hard on that. So definitely want to win that race. But, I'd rather win Charlotte right now than that next year, really.
All right, go ahead.
Tyler had the racing experts. When you look at tonight, qualifying, trying to get as good a starting spot as you can, is that a little bit more important now because of the stage points and seeing how much that benefited you last week and getting you to where you are now?
Yeah, I think qualifying, for the first stage of the race is definitely really important. I think we've noticed that quite a few times this year. We started the season qualifying fairly well and, putting ourselves in a position to gain stage points more often, at least in the first stage. Seems like we've always gotten our stage points in the first stage, not really the second. So, and I think qualifying attributed that to that more often. So it is important to qualify. It's tough to pass here at Charlotte. I think racing during the day will definitely help passing, but that qualifying spot sure means a lot here.
All right, I believe Jacob in the back had a question, and then we'll come up front for our final question.
Jacobson, Performance Motorsports Network, and from one dirt guy to another, Ricky, you just made me smile when you mentioned Chili Bowl. What's the anticipation to get back there? And I'm guessing a lot of anticipation being back with the Clausen Marshall guys to take another stab at it, right?
Yeah, we had a strong run at Chili Bowl last year, and we threw a lot of stuff together and had a lot of cars, and I thought we were pretty successful. We almost had all of our cars in the A main come Saturday night. So, we definitely want to win some prelims and obviously win on Saturday nights, the biggest goal that we have for that week. So it's always a good week to, do the Racers for Autism event that Brian started, on Monday night, and then continue with all the other cool things that we do throughout the week there. So, I just got a picture update today of the new trophy room at the Clausen Marshall midget shop. So we need to add some trophies in there.
All right, we'll take our final question.
Caleb Whistler, KickingTheTires.net. Ricky, do you feel the added pressure of everybody at the shop being the only Roush car in the playoffs and have made it this far?
No, I don't feel pressure. I feel a lot of support. I think a lot of our employees are working really hard, and they came in early, leaving late. Making sure that everything's getting done that that we're asking of them, and that's pretty cool. Seeing a lot here today, just walking around is always cool too. So, just a lot of support from everybody at the shop, and we want to keep it going for them.
All right, Ricky, we appreciate your time today, and we wish you best of luck this weekend. All right.